So sorry folks if we maybe just dropped out there a little bit, but we're hopefully back up and running again. So yep, just to recap, our game is Lauire against Huerlimann from Switzerland this morning. They've already completed their first end, and we're now into the second end. And Lauire started with hammer here, and Team Switzerland thought they might have dropped that one short there, but they've dragged the first stone into the top of the house. So let's see how Tia takes this on. Looks like she's not interested in throwing the corner guard here, and going to play the hit and roll on the one that the counter that Team Huerlimann have just put into the top of the rings. So throwing lead stones here for Team Lauire is Holly Burke. Holly had a great season last year, was part of the Team GB Youth Olympic team who successfully won gold for Team GB, and now into the programme and the Performance Foundation programme within Scottish curling and British curling, and yeah, these girls are now just starting to embrace what the programme's all about. So Jane's a good young team here, so
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to. I've not watched much of them this week so far. It's difficult to kind of catch all the games. There's so many playing it all the time, and I'm usually involved with the live stream and watching that game along with everybody else. So I've not really seen much of Lauire this week, and how they're getting on. So it'll be interesting to see how they curl and how they approach this game.
yeah, I think Team Huerlimann first intent was to drop it short that time, but the just slightly heavy and it's just slipped into the rings. So again, Tia's taken no chances in these early stages of this game, and was called Holly to throw the takeout here.
Yeah, really cautious start by both teams, I think. Nobody really wanting to go for it early on, just trying to get used to the conditions of the ice this morning. It's not as cold as it's been the last few days outside, and that can affect the ice temperatures inside as well. And how it is to control, how difficult it is to control the humidity and the temperature inside a building. The external temperature makes a big difference to that. So there was no frost on my car this morning, and no snow on the ground or anything around Perth. So it's been just hovering just above freezing last night. So probably just seeing how the ice is reacting to that, and how different it maybe has been over the last couple of days.
So yeah, both these teams have played 2 games in the section. They've both had their byes now, so they'll play 2 games today. And Huerlimann undefeated so far, and going very, very well. Lauire on a 1-1 win-loss record, so all to play for here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think there's anybody out of it yet, but there's, like you say, everything still to play for, and the top 2 in each of these sections go straight through to the semi-finals. So it'll be 4 teams they'll play off for the second semi-final spot. Everybody would love to get through and get a game off at the end of today. Quarterfinals will be the last game of today at 8 o'clock tonight. But I think all of these teams would prefer to have an early night and get straight into the semis on Monday morning.
Probably closer to 15 now then, yeah. That's okay.
So Tamsin Smith throwing second stones for Team Lauire there, and just goes slightly deep and back button. Tamsin's been called in for this weekend. She's covering for Cara Davidson, who is part of the Team GB Uni Games ladies team, and Cara's on duty with them, who are actually on the sheet next door, and they're currently playing another Swiss team from Lucerne. So good to see Tamsin getting involved in a good event like this. Tamsin's involved in the programme as an individual athlete, and again is embracing the offerings of coaching and strength and conditioning and various other parts that the programme can offer. So.
Good. Well, we've got some stones in the house now. Everybody again getting their draw weight. That was a lovely stone played in there. Locked right on top of the button.
Yeah, just took advantage of that little, and it's just a marginal mistake, just slipping back tee there, but it makes all the difference in these situations, and gave the Swiss girls the opportunity just to come down and just lock one on, and they did that excellently.
Always ollies. Make sure we're top 4. Hard. Curl.
Some really nice weight there by
15-2.
Team Lauire there, but they didn't quite get the line right, and they just sat just a little bit wide of that centre line stone. So this will create a nice little nest, give us a little bit of margin for error for the draw coming down here. It looks like they're playing tighter ice than that, so it's maybe that they're planning to knock that red through and roll on top of their own yellow. We do have the skips mic'd up, so we will go for any interesting ends that the skips are discussing. We'll try and turn up their mics and hear what they're saying at the right time. But yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. They were taking that red out, and there's now left the 2 yellows staggered. So here with the decision here is it twist or stick, but.
Like you're always jamming on there. Feel.
So we've got 6 games on this morning. On sheet B, we've got Team Archibald against Team Bjornstad. On sheet C, we have Morrison against Thompson, the young junior girls from Perth.
Oh, wait.
On sheet D, we have the experienced Team Schwaller against Team Poloskit from Lithuania. The game we're watching, Laurie and Huerlimann. On sheet F, we have Team GB Uni Games Girls against Lucerne. And on the end sheet here, we have China against the young Kali Suter team.
Hard.
So we'll keep you updated on some of those score lines as we go through this morning.
That's okay.
So yeah, didn't really fancy coming round and tapping that one, James, and just decided just to cart and take the guard off and open it up for them.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think the stagger's probably what put them off there. I think if they come down and hit that yellow, I think they were pushing the other yellow towards the red. They probably thought that's not a good situation to leave themselves in with the guard still in place. So deciding to rip the guard off, and we'll probably just see it go straight back on here from Corey. Huerlimann. Oh, sweepers are off this one. It looks like it might be a little deep. This could be coming right into the rings. It's going to be close. Yeah, it's a little bit deeper than they wanted, but it does the job. But you'll see now it kind of gives that decision now for a straight run back. It makes that a little bit easier with that guard being that little bit closer to the stones that they're trying to guard. So we've got the option now of running this back, which is what Tia's called. Try and see if we can tidy up this end a little bit, leave a red stone in the control zone at the top of the house, which is where they want to be. This looks a little high, it needs to draw a little. No, that's not too bad. It's a good result. This will hang around on the top right hand side of the house. That could be useful.
6-8 I got for that.
Yeah, big advantage there, hanging the shooter there. That was through the heat down there. And that was Kirsty Gallagher throwing third stones for Team Laurie. So it looks like Team Huerlimann are going to come down and just bump this red counter and just try and roll a little bit wide and get a little bit of separation here, make the double takeout attempt that could potentially come from Team Laurie a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Super's trying to keep this one online. It looks like it's over curling. We're going to hit the wrong stone, is it? No, just managed to squeeze by. They are going to roll out, I think. Yeah. So,
Like
a mistake there.
It's not curling as much. I don't mind coming
So yeah,
this
good
high.
chance here for Team Laurie just to try and get a bit of separation and try and make a pretty simple 2 here. So let's see what kind of weight Tia throws at this one, just
Nice
trying
shot.
to bring a
Nice
little
shot.
bit of control into the shot and make sure she holds the shooter here.
Yeah. No, got to line. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Yeah. No, I got past the line.
Ja, sicher. Ja, jawohl. Das ist mehr mit irgendwie Freistil.
A nose hit would be fine here, I think. Not looking for anything too fancy, anything needing to roll.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hard.
Super's
Hard.
like it. Not too bad. If they can roll a little bit to the left, that's going to be good. Yeah, that's fine. Nice controlled weight there.
It was. Yeah.
Down.
Het is nu naar half bij iemand stappen met de rol. Ja. 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 Zoals Cleve,
I
ja.
was like, did that stone that you were sweeping out the back actually make it over the line? And I was like, yes.
Hij erin.
She thought I just kicked it away. I was like, no. Didn't.
Nu naar half. Ik ben er al lang.
Is that 10-4?
Kijk voor. Ja.
Air down.
Ik doe iets.
Okay.
So Team Huerlimann going to try and come down here and, if possible, roll, make the big roll under the red would be the preference. But I think they're just getting this one a little high, so probably the better second option and rolling a little wide and puts Team Laurie onto a track and a path that they've not thrown down yet this morning. So so a nose hit coming up. Attempt for Tia Laurie to
Not really done it out yet, so
make 2
Not
at
really
this first end.
out
Let's see
one
how
yet.
she goes.
10.
Alleen mijn eerste en dan sogar.
Yeah, should do. Yeah. 10.
Ja.
10.
Im ersten Ende, die hat 70 Meter gehört.
So last stone, second end.
Oh.
Tia with a chance to score a 2.
Oh! Curl!
Nee.
Hard curl!
They're sweeping it straight initially, but now they're looking for the curl. This could roll out. They're going to hang on. No, just rolled out. So Huerlimann did enough just to kind of give them a different line there and make that just a little bit more difficult by rolling that yellow just out to the wing there. Yeah, Tia rolls out, so it will just be the 1 on the second end for Team Laurie.
No, nothing. Didn't hurl. Nope.
Yeah, the girls played a really good end there and didn't want to get too involved and peeled the guard and made the short run back and created their opportunity for 2 there. And just unfortunate, Tia threw a really nice weight down at that one and just didn't really find the curl out there. So
If he ends up in the house,
with
it's not the worst.
result
But
with just a 1 for Team Laurie, and at the end of this second end, it's 1-0 to Laurie. There's only one major score really to update you in the other games. So the young Cali Suter team have taken a big 3 at the first end against Team China, which is a great score. So the girls have started pretty sharp this morning.
close the room. Thompson. Curl. Hard curl. Where? Hard curl. Hard, Thompson. You really gotta go. Hard. Hard. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You got it. Keep going. Hard. Keep going. Good sweep. 16-4.
A great sweep there from Tamsin Smith with the first one there, and just needed to get on the outside and make that curl a little bit and try and get a touch on that all-important centre line for these lead stones now with the implementation of the new the no-tick rule.
Yeah, that's I think been a really important feature. It's the first time I think we've used that at the Masters. It's a new rule being brought in, for the international competitions, and a lot of the slams using it now as well. I think just brings a lot more stones into play, but as you say, makes that first guard for the chasing team a lot more important to get right to the centre line. And I saw yesterday the first time that it was a measure on the centre line. There was a disagreement between the players whether or not it was touching the centre line. The umpires came out, brought the little triangular block of wood, pushed it up against the stone, and finally agreed that it was not touching the centre line. So they were able to play that tick shot. And a lot of teams will call that straight away as well. So it is important.
Line!
And can really make a difference in the game.
Curl.
So Team Huerlimann not interested in the corner guard here, and they've thrown one round here, not quite buried, but had good weight, top of the button, and Polly Burke was able to see enough of it to come down and throw a bit of a hack weight, controlled weight, and remove that Swiss counter, and lie one shot open at the edge of the 4-foot. So James, we had the dinner at the Mercure Hotel last night, hosted by the hotel, and I think all of the teams, if not all, everybody was there. It was I think nearly 170 attended the dinner, along with the Provost of Perth was in attendance, and some of the other sponsors as well, representation from them. So it was a good dinner, but one of the main awards that we provide at the Masters dinner is the Graham Shaw Spirit of Curling Award, and Graham was a well-kent curler in Perth and in these parts, and there was an award presented annually at the Masters dinner in memory of Perth. So the winner of it this year, not an athlete, which maybe seems a little bit peculiar, but we took the opportunity to present the award to Paul Martin, our ice tech here, who's been here since he was a boy in 1990 when we opened in September 1990. He'd done a part-time job at the old rink at Dunkeld Road also, and Paul has been making ice here for the Masters as long as we've been at Dewars. So thoroughly deserved, and well done to Paul, and I think an award to an individual who has given an extreme amount to the event, and is well respected by the players and many others throughout the world. So.
No, absolutely. It's the dinner's a great thing. It's not something that all the events do, and in fact, I think there's very few events actually have a formal dinner anymore. I mean, it was something that was started by the Perth Masters way back.
okay.
Sometimes the players look forward to it, sometimes they just want to get to their bed, but you know, I think it's a really good tradition, and this Spirit of Curling award that's been added has been a great addition to the night, and it was in 2019, I believe, was I think the first time that was presented, and I think Ewan MacDonald was the inaugural winner of that trophy, and then when you look at some of the other names that have won it, we've obviously had a couple of years break due to COVID, but we've had Thomas Ulsrud was also a recipient of that award, as was Joel Rentonaz. So I think Paul Martin's in very good company there, and I think you know, and the good thing is, in the Spirit of Curling, they'll all know Paul, you know. And he's a well-known face to all the teams, and they know him really well. Like you say, been here, made the ice at all the Masters competitions for the last number of years. So
13-7.
yeah, I think a very well-deserved award as well. He does a fantastic job here at Perth every year. And all season for us, local curlers as well, Alan. It's not just the event. We don't just fly him in to do ice for the Masters. He's here doing it for the club curling, whether it's local clubs, you know, internal games, or whether it's our Perth Super League. He's here trying to make the ice the same quality and the same consistency for everybody, and does a great job for us all year. So yeah, really well. When I heard that last night, or this morning, I think I saw it posted on some of the socials. So when I saw that's who won the award, I was really pleased. I thought that was a great idea to give it to Paul, and break tradition of I suppose a short tradition, but break tradition with giving it to an athlete. And actually, not that Paul's not an athlete, I'm sure he probably don't know if he would consider himself an athlete these days or not. I think his curling's a little curtailed with his bad knee, but yes, it's great to kind of break from that tradition and give it to someone who's just as involved in the sport.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to our game.
Yep, congratulations to Paul, and here's to another 30 years. We'll see how we go with that. So yeah, pretty open end, James, we've got here in this third end. So
Probably need more ice.
Team Huerlimann got an opportunity here just to split the rings and probably just set up a relatively simple two.
So they managed to get a guard up, managed to get one round. The guard's been ripped off, so this kind of then allows the second shot to be brought into the rings. Usually, you know, try and create as much separation as you can between the two stones, make the double difficult. But this is looking a little hot.
Okay, good.
It should pull up just back 12 somewhere maybe.
Yeah, on you.
So yeah, I think creating that angle between the two stones makes it very difficult, if not impossible, to go for the double on that. So now what Tia's looking for is how to make it as difficult as possible for Corey Huerlimann to hit her stone and not leave a double.
Earl! Clean.
So it was Kirsty Gallagher throwing third stones there and made the take out, but just rolled slightly high. Probably wanted to roll the same margin on the inside of that one. So,
and what you probably can't see from that camera angle, and we'll just switch it there just now, is there is a red hanging on right at the back there. So that kind of creates a little bit of complexity when you're trying to take stones out, because if there's if it jams on that back one, then obviously that's not what you're wanting.
I don't mind where that is.
You've just got to be mindful of that. But I think Corey looking here, if she hits this one, if the roll to the left at all, I think they're going to be outside the rings, and that's not what they want. So they want to make sure that they either hit it right on the nose or just roll to the right slightly, and just make sure that they get a good piece of the 12 foot there.
Oh, Achtung, ja, ja.
And sometimes that's all you can do in these situations, is just try and make it as difficult as possible for the other team. You know, there's nothing to hide behind, there's no guards.
Goed.
So she has hit, and they have rolled to the right, but I think they've rolled a little
try and
bit
get
further
both?
than they would have liked. So
I'd rather go this way.
Yeah, I
across
think
the
we'll see
top.
Tia take on the double attempt here and just see if she can.
Like here. 9.
Oh, that's all from hit the side that she's got the brush at, and try and drive it over the top of this yellow on the right hand side, and if at all possible, hold the shooter as well.
9.
would be
Try and get
great
rid of
result.
all. Yeah. Across the top.
Nee, ik had dat de moet meemaken. Als eerst wel weer op de center komt. Het wordt lang hangen, ja. Ja. Ja.
Yeah.
So it's underway now with the double takeout attempt here from Tia Lauire.
Als ik licht nog hebben.
sweeping it hard.
Nu nog.
Keep it on line, it looks like it's going to over curl. Oh, is it going to get past that back red? I think it did. Yeah. So it did miss that back red, but that's the danger there. I mean, that over curled anyway, but if that had been any straighter, it could have jammed on that back red, and then Corey could have been drawing in here for a 3.
Maybe just not
Or
as
for a
positive
third stone
on the
anyway.
release.
Put a third stone in play, so. We're just looking at all the best placement options here. Top left, back left. I think anywhere on the left hand side of that of the circle will be good. Make it very difficult for a double takeout.
Zo spuft. Oké, zo 14,5.
So hopefully you've been able to join us on our restarted live stream this morning. Had a few gremlins in the system that meant that our initial start had to be restarted. The kit obviously didn't like Sunday mornings either, but we've now restarted the stream. I can see there is we've got 37 people joining us this morning. If you are one of those 37, please feel free, give us a ping on the chat and the YouTube channel, say hello. If you've got any questions, if there's any calls that you're not quite sure why they made, we have our expert Alan Hanna here. We can answer any questions that you've got around the curling and the tactics, and there's nobody better that can answer those questions. So if you do have anything that you want to ping in the chat,
Ja, ik ga als de hand gezet vinden.
then
This
please
was the
feel
back
free.
one, so at least we let shot. There's no double.
So yeah, Tia didn't really look at the double takeout attempt here. It's probably
wouldn't like
a little bit
shot.
fraught with danger. Still got that back counter on
did
there,
think
so
about it, but we didn't
decided
like
to
shot
ignore
out of
that
it.
and just
It's
hit the
only-
back one, and probably just
Yeah,
trying to make a
10.
roll under the yellow one here to the to the back of the 8 foot and try and lie shot if possible. Just make this a little bit more difficult for Team Huerlimann to make their 2.
Yeah,
Carl!
so she's trying to hit and
Carl!
roll, as you say, just to the left-hand side of the screen as you're looking at it, underneath that other yellow stone. But this doesn't look like it's going to be curling as much. No, and they're going to hit and roll out.
This goes up, it didn't move.
So
This goes up,
hopefully
wait,
a
it didn't move.
straightforward draw to the fully into the
Is
12
that like
foot.
9.5 or something, was it? Oh, was it really?
Should get Corey Huerlimann her 2 to take a 2-1 lead after 3 ends. Hope that's not the commentator's curse. I've just said it's a straightforward draw at the 12 foot, and then it's the worst thing you can say. Hope she makes it now, otherwise I'll be persona non grata by Team Huerlimann.
And she's under the weight, just throwing down the same line as the last one, so they know the weight down here, and they've got the luxury of their own counter to bump up to if they need to.
For team 5.
Yeah, sweepers seem to like this. They're not beasting it. They're not going hard at it, so that's nice. Just drawn down into the house. Perfect. So I'm glad I didn't curse them. It's a 2-1 lead to Team Huerlimann after 3 ends.
I just running so straight there. That was 10-2.
Start doing a lot towards them. Try and get some movement. Because the 10s and 9s don't seem to be moving. Unless straight line.
Yeah.
So a lot of other tight games out there. The only other significant score out there is Team Morrison have taken a 3 at the second end against the young Thompson team from Perth here. So Team Morrison experience shown there and in control of that game this morning. On sheet B, Archibald lead Bjornstad 1-0. Schwaller and Polanskit are 1 each. Team GB against Lucerne are 1 each also. And just waiting for the score to go up on the second end here for China against Suter. It was a big 3 for the young Suter team at the first end, but I'm sure there's another score to go up at the second end, which we've not seen yet.
Well, I mean, top 12 so far.
Yeah.
I think anything past top 12
Sorry. Yeah.
anything past top 12 or not there.
Depends where this is. If it's short, just come right. But we're just tighten up the ice a bit.
Yeah?
With Team Huerlimann
The curl.
coming down here, they're
The curl.
going the tight guard here.
Fish.
Just trying to make this one curl and get a little bite of that all-important centre line.
Hush, 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 hush. Good.
And the sweep just did enough and perfectly placed and perfectly swept. So
Got loads of room. Keep going. Where? Where? Yeah, you gotta go then, hard. 16-6, you gotta be like, I can't hear.
Hollyberg just come up a little bit short there. They just get caught a little bit on the weight of that one. Just trying to throw the out turn, counter-clockwise draw.
Yeah, were they trying to come around the centre there, or were they putting up a corner card? I couldn't decide.
Yeah, it looked like draw around the centre. That's on the turn they threw.
It's that much wider than they thought then, I think. I was hearing from some of the players that, one side of the ice you definitely got more curl than the other side, and there was definitely an imbalance on some of the curl, but it didn't look like they had the right line of
Okay.
what was going on there.
Okay. 14 honey.
Good try that. That you come right round, but I don't think we've got the curl for that.
There's
Do you try that?
Tia just confirming she
12.
didn't think she was going to get right round and on that outside hand, so round their own red. I don't think they've quite got the curl down that side of the sheet to kind of get to the inside of there. So they're going for the tap back or the hit on the yellow, probably at a hack weight.
Yep. Hard!
They'd like an inside roll if they can, but they've got to be so close to that guard, but it looks like it might be on the guard. And if it is on the guard, then that guard will be replaced. It was, and they have replaced it.
13.
So they just put it back to where they think it should be. The non-offending team get to decide where it should go, so and where it should sit. So Corey's put it pretty much back where it should be, so they're now trying to come around the other hand, see if they can get hidden round this red now and sit with 2 in the house. Start to pile the pressure on.
Tierlinie, Tierlinie. Then for curl, curl, curl. Push curl.
They're having trouble down that side of the sheet as well. A little bit slower maybe than they're expecting down there. So
Yeah, possibly, James. It's definitely caught out both teams on the weight down there. Tia's now got the opportunity with us now being out of the free guard zone phase where she can deal with this front guard. And this is Tamsin Smith throwing second stones. Being asked to play the promotional takeout on the front one.
Hard. Okay.
I actually think they were just maybe going for the straight peel of the guard there,
Yeah.
James. So,
Yeah.
Tight on the
yeah.
slide.
yeah, it's a difficult one. Sometimes you can get a little bit too cute and try and take out the stone in the house as well, but actually the primary objective is getting rid of that centre line guard, which they have done. And this is a decision time as well. It's not an easy one. So you come around the guards on the left-hand side and try and put 2 stones in the house, but you've got a chance of leaving a double if you do that, or do you try and move your own yellow stone further back? So let's listen in and see what the skips are saying. That might be in Swiss, but for our Swiss viewers, you can listen and.
Ja, komm so in der Nacht.
Well, didn't hear an awful lot of the discussion there, but I think the universal sign for back 8 weight looks like what they might be playing here, and just trying to split that yellow, just push it in and just tuck it in behind that red guard on the right hand side, and then ideally get a wee roll over to the left behind the other 2 guards for their shot stone that's coming down. So
Push. Whoa, curl. Nein, Tia, Tia, Tia. Push. Push. Tia.
just curled a little bit late on them, maybe a little light of weight there, but curled a little bit late on them.
Just up,
Didn't quite
nose.
get to hold it, but I think they were expecting a little bit more.
9.
Corey was expecting a little bit more on that
Okay, gut.
to get the roll.
Weil am Schluss wegen ja schön, hinten so out. Dann habe ich gedacht, okay, muss ich nachher den Volllauf abhören. Ja, gut.
Cool. Close.
Tamsin Smith coming down here with a
Curl.
bit of weight again, bit of
Curl.
intent. So just trying to
Hard
get this
curl.
inside roll and make this double, and
Okay.
just needed to
That's fine,
curl just
Tamsin.
an absolute
That was my bad. 8-5.
millimetre more just to flick the yellow, the second yellow counter.
That was close, that was unlucky.
Tia, Tia, Tia. First. First. Whoa. Curl, curl, curl. Ah, gut gespielt.
So that was an interesting decision. I thought they would have tried to get the roll to the left-hand side of the house there, but I think they were actually going for the roll to the right.
Yeah, or even just actually
Look at
nosing
that.
the one they could see there was probably in a good spot
top
if
tee.
Team Laurie ever took a play on the other one and rolled behind it, they still had a yellow they could play on and run back. So this one rolling that way is just probably overrolled. They probably wanted to definitely cover the edge of this yellow so there was no roll towards the right hand side, which Tia now has an option to roll either way. So.
Well, we're going to go down and have a wee quick chat about this. We can turn up the skips mics.
I don't know, you either do
chat
that or you come to here.
It's edge on edge.
Oh,
No.
kijk te leren.
You come here? I don't know.
Met de gedanken dat er was.
No, it's quite a long
vind ik
roll,
ook
they're
zo
quite dead.
Streng
I
zo.
feel if you put one round here, yeah. Do you ever come here?
Nee.
I don't mind that. Yeah. At least if you're short,
No, but
like,
it's- we
even if
see
you're
it's
short, you
neat.
can at least do something with it. Like here.
Dat is voor de kaart machst.
Well, decision made. I think, as with all of these decisions that you make in curling, it's sometimes you've got to think, well, if it's not quite what you want, what's the worst it could be, or if it's short, if you don't quite get there, if the weight's not there, where will it end up, and is that a bad spot for us or not? So I think they've decided drawing up to these yellows on the right hand side is what they want to do. Come right in and freeze on that yellow in between the two of them there.
Whoa!
But if they don't quite make it,
Curl! Curl!
and
Hard
it's
bit!
just sitting a little high,
Hard curl!
then
Hard!
I think they're okay with that.
Hard, Thompson! Hard!
This isn't curling on this side again. They're not quite getting it. They're going to get past. No, they didn't get past the guard. Is this going to work out for them
Okay.
though? Well,
Just back. 13-6, 5.
not really. But could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, the line might have ended up not too bad there, James. It was probably just a little heavy more than anything, just catching both of those guards. So I liked the call, just trying to get one on top there. They talked a wee bit about trying to hit the open one and roll to the other side, which, you know, is a technically difficult shot. It's a big roll, and also they probably would be rolling back tee in that situation. So, well thought out by the girls, and just didn't, just slightly overthrown it.
Oh, a mistake there. I think that overcurled, and that opposite hand there just overcurled on them.
Just as you said, James, you know, even if the first one wasn't perfect and frozen on, if it was just somewhere usable, it was a danger stone, and it ended up being that way for the Swiss.
Waarom? Ik had denkt, ja.
The only positive I think they can take from that is they've now got a yellow tucked behind those two guards on the left-hand side,
Die was 11,5 jetzt zoveel gemacht voor
and they've got one half buried on the right.
Yeah.
So I think Tia's now got to decide. Do you
Have to be
ignore
right
those?
over though, you couldn't leave it here.
Yeah, and I think that's what they've decided. They've decided, let's just ignore those two yellow stones, let's get another one in ourselves and get it underneath those two guards, and actually use the stone in the house as a third guard and get it buried right under and sit just on the P of Perth,
Always line! Always line!
the edge of the stone on the P of Perth
Line!
would be ideal. Yeah, it's curling hard on this hand again.
Keep going. Keep going.
I think, yeah, it's going to
Get a
come
roll
up
off.
short.
Okay. 16:06.
Zo, hè. Het is 11,5 weer.
Alright, good sweep.
Ja.
16:06 I got for that.
11,5 daar is nog goed voor de marine.
So you hear the times that they're calling, Alan, and that's the times between the hog to hog, and she was saying that was a 16:06 between the hogs. So that was quite a slow
Ja.
throw there, I think. That was a slow pass for that. You're normally looking for somewhere around about the 15 for a tee weight for a decent speed and ice. isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. So maybe even 14, in that kind of window, 14 and a half to 15 is probably where we're running at this morning. So, and also sometimes where teams can get caught out, where there's more curl on the ice on one side of the sheet, which you mentioned earlier. The split time can be different from that faster and slightly straighter side. So yeah, again, just making sure that the teams dial into that and making sure they understand that, you know, some of the speeds could be different on different paths. So.
Yeah, and that's the very technical part of the game that they have to be very attuned with, these teams that are playing together often and trying to play at the top level. You know, down one half of the ice, you know, a T-weight could be very different throw down the other side of the ice.
11.
So as Team Huerlimann make that one go away, but didn't make the roll here, so still an opportunity here for Team Laurie to make a good one here and make a good roll and just put the Swiss team under a little bit of pressure and see if they can manufacture a skipper's two out of this.
And you would go for the hit and roll here, Alan, off that middle stone and roll underneath the red guards there, rather than try and take the double. Would that just be a bit too defensive to try and sort of minimise any damage, if you like, and actually just trying that double?
Yeah, she's got a real opportunity. You were using, you know, the letters on the logos, which a lot of the players use. So, no, a really good opportunity here to roll to that R or T of Perth or somewhere around there. If you throw the double, it's a little bit variation of how those stones are going to spin and react.
What's the difference?
So that was definitely the safer and the more percentage option.
But again, on that hand, just seemed to overcurl on them. And if we have a quick look at the overhead here, you can see that the two yellows are still first and second shot. The red has rolled out into third shot.
She did well to hold it for that long. I
decision.
didn't think it was going to stick him out at all.
Team Huerlimann here. Draw around those guards.
Ja, ich kann einen guten Shot machen.
On the left hand side. And really put Tia under some pressure.
Girls are working this hard to try and hold the line here. It's just really curling a lot on this in-turn clockwise side, and as a result of it just curling that bit more, the weight's catching them up too and coming up a little short. So it's an important shot here for Tia Laurie, just trying to come down here and score one and tie this game up at 2 each after 4 ends.
Fighting for. Biting for. Probably.
So the draw attempt is underway. We're coming over the hog line here.
The sweepers were off it. We're going to hang on. Yeah, just back. Bite the back 4 foot for one. Lovely draw there. Well played. So that ties the scores up after 4 ends at 2 apiece.
Maybe. Yeah, that's good. There's no way that was zone 2. In a round.
Ja.
Go for the force.
Fokus höher.
Keep going.
Ja, aber ich will probieren, 2 machen. Mit mir. Ja. Gut. Gesetz ein bisschen halten.
Line's okay. Curl if you can. Keep going. Curl. Curl. Oh. Yeah, curl, curl, curl. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going.
So a tight first half here, James, and we're
17-6.
tied at 2 each at the half time, the halfway break, and we're underway in this fifth end. So a couple of chances there for Team Laurie, just in these early ends, just to try and manufacture a 2, and just a couple of little half shots there that just makes the difference at this level. So
Yeah, just not quite coming off. Whether it's the hit and roll or whether it's the draw to try and get buried. Both teams seem to have some missed opportunities there. That last end, Team Huerlimann could have drawn in and made that scoring zone a lot smaller for Tia Laurie, but they came up short and just gave Tia a little bit more margin for error on her draw. So the teams are going to know they're going to have to go at it now, and that was an interesting call there to come in behind that centre guard, because I think at this stage,
Line's good, got room. Always
Team Laurie
curl.
know that they have to steal
Curl.
to get back on top and to get the
Hard curl.
control in the
Hard curl.
even ends again.
Hard, Townsend. Hard. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, nice. 14-7.
There's a nice weight there from.
I think we could probably
really
be
good
like
throw.
15-2.
Heck! Forward! Forward!
You heard them shout the time there of a 15-2.
yeah, it's pretty
that
fast.
drop.
Just on that slightly straighter side, I'd imagine it's probably just slightly slower than that on the left-hand side of the sheet as we look at it. Probably a little bit more curl there.
Ja, Tia! Oh! Curl! 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 Achtung, Tia!
So Team Huerlimann coming down here with the back line sort of hack weight, trying to remove this Team Laurie counter, and played that absolutely perfectly.
Yeah,
and,
it was a really, really good shot. That could have gone so wrong.
Like
but
just
they
feel.
got just straight past that guard and then got that perfect hit and that wee roll to the left-hand side as well. So yeah, really, really nice shot there. Well played.
So just an update on some of the other scores, and on the end sheet nearest is on sheet G is China against Suter, and after a big 3 at the first end from Team Suter, China have bounced back strongly in that game, and now at the halfway stage lead that game 6-3.
Clean.
Team GB, girls Uni Games
Nice
team, are 3-1 up against an experienced Team Lucerne, and going well there this
806.
morning with the girls.
806.
Schwaller against Poloski is 2-1 to the Lithuanians at this first after 3 ends. They're just finishing up their 4th end. And an early finish on sheet C, the strong and experienced Team Morrison have run out comfortable winners this morning against the local Perth junior girls. So it's good to see the juniors playing in this event, the experience that they'll take away from this weekend, and these types of experiences will stand them in good stead going forward. So well done to them for for getting involved in the event. But Morrison now seems to be, after dropping the first game, are now starting to show a little bit of form. And on the end sheet, it is 2-1 to Bjornstad against Team Archibald.
Push, Curl. Push!
Yeah, absolutely. I think this event that we hold in Perth, you know, the Perth Masters, it does give a lot of the local teams that maybe don't travel in Europe or can't travel in Europe, you know, they're all at, these guys are at school or they're at university, and they can't spend a lot of time away abroad, and it's the cost of it all as well. So I think to host, you know, an event like this where we can attract some of the top teams in Europe is the perfect opportunity for them to get some experience in curling against some of the top teams, and you know, taking tactics that would be different from their club curling and for team communication, you know, in an actual game, for something that actually, you know, matters as well. It's not just a practice game or a bounce game that they might play against each other. There's a lot of prize money to be won here if they did really well, and a lot of them will be thinking about that as well. And trying to pit their wits against some of the top teams in Europe, and indeed we've got Chinese and Japanese teams here this week. Japanese for the men, and two teams from China as well for the women and the men. So yeah, teams from all over.
Just throws. Just off.
So after that good hit and roll by the Team Huerlimann's lead, to kind of line these two up on the 1 foot near the tee line, it's been a case of replacing the guards, which they've done perfectly, and Team Lauire just peeling it. So I'm just trying to run this back as well and try and make some kind of connection with the two that are in the 4 foot. Kirsty Gallagher does that greatly. So
yeah, that is a great shot. Hit it absolutely plumb and just took those two yellow stones out. So it still leaves one, but it's definitely a better situation than they were in.
7-4. No, 7-4.
Yeah, Team Huerlimann elected just to not draw another one round this. They don't want to get sucked round the middle here, and maybe just change the angles and make it slightly easier for Team Lauire. So they've decided just to draw to the wing, probably back quarter, and just try and set up a regulation 2 for them here.
Go. Fish. Go. Fish. Nog
There's a sweeping this hard. They're trying to get it deep here.
Okay. 5 ties.
Unfortunately,
You think we go for the run again?
it didn't go as far back. So they've got
Either do
the
that
option.
or run it.
Ja, op het school.
What do you like? Run.
So you can hear Tia asking her player, and sometimes it's about what you're throwing, and so she's shouting up, would you like to run it back, or would you like to do the hit and roll in? And sometimes it's just about what you're more comfortable to throw, and it's a shot they've just thrown, so they're going to try and throw it again. And now they're running their own stone in, so if they do get the hit this absolutely plumb again. Looks like they're going to hit it high. And, they got the double on the yellows in the house. Don't think that was quite the plan, but they'll take it.
7-1, good shoot.
Yeah, always the chance there by hitting that little high that double was on, but it's just again the small margins that they're playing to. The Swiss counter just needed to be, another 2 stone widths deeper there, and that just changes the whole complexion of that shot. So.
Yeah, they didn't get that stone nearly as deep as they wanted to. They wanted to go right back into that back bottom right hand side as you look at the screen there. They wanted to get that yellowed nice and deep in there. But left it top tee, and then suddenly the complexion of the end has changed.
11? Yeah.
And the thoughts of a tour, a distant memory now for Team Huerlimann.
Some shot. No, I didn't.
What weight?
11.
Yeah.
Air on the side of heavy. Air on the side of heavy.
Ja, das ist jetzt nicht mal so wollen. Nein.
Tia's going to come down here with a quiet weight. Try and make this
Pearl.
roll under the guard,
Holly.
the halfway guard.
Okay.
And they're sweeping it for curl. Yeah, they actually hit the wrong side of the stone there, so
Sorry.
didn't quite get the roll
What was
under.
it?
Marina, you get
But you heard her when she was in the hack saying that they were going to err on the side of heavy.
Yeah.
They didn't want this to over curl and roll too far, so
Got
I
where we
think they
wanted
would
it.
have preferred it.
So at least
If it was
got
going to
where
do
we
anything
wanted it, but
even
at least we
rolls,
got
a
it
slight roll to that side was the plan B, so not be too disappointed with that. The roll perfectly under a single stone is always very, very hard anyway to get that just right.
Coming down here, probably with a barrier weight or something, just trying to get the inside roll here and playing a little bit of more weight just than a hack weight, just trying to keep the roll a little bit higher if
Try
you
get
make
roller.
that. So
11.
actually just didn't curl enough there
You're
on
less,
that
I think.
slightly straighter side and got to the nose of that one.
So primary objective, get rid of the
11
yellow
in the
here.
roll under.
And then if they can get the roll underneath that red and force Huerlimann to take the one, that would be ideal.
As long as they get it out. Let's get the roll if we can.
And you can hear the skip just saying exactly that to the rest of our team. Make sure we get it out and then roll if we can. Well, they just got it out. That was close. Rolled out themselves, so this will be a straightforward throw it through, I
They
think,
just run
for
straight to the line.
Huerlimann.
They just run straight to the line as well.
Multitasking this morning here, James. I'm also doing the line
tighten up
scores
nice, I think,
update,
for
so
the
I think I
turn.
can possibly safely say this one will be a blank end and put
think
that
so.
as a throw through.
Yes, I don't think she'll be taking her one here. Especially on 8 end games, I
What
think.
time was it?
10-4.
Okay.
But yes, I think we're all multitasking this morning. I'm doing a little bit of the production and camera switching and YouTube channel chat. Although we've not had any chat this morning. We've got more viewers now. People are waking up. It's 9:30 and your coffee and cornflakes. You know, watching the curling hopefully. You know, whip out the laptop or mobile phone and get on, say hi, see who's watching along with you. How many of our Swiss friends are watching from Switzerland? If there's anybody supporting Team Huerlimann from over there, do say hi.
Yeah.
And who is supporting Team Lauire from Scotland? We had the
two.
Stalker Army on
Then round.
and watching the Stalker game earlier this week.
Because I think they hit rolls or hit around the 6 now.
So that's us
mind
about
two or
into
three.
this all-important 6th end,
Yeah.
and it's two each. Team Huerlimann have got the hammer. So we've got a great day of curling ahead with another 3 draws throughout the day. So if you are in and around the Perth area and want to pop in and see some high quality curling, then please do so. We have the men's draw up next, which is at 11:30, and yeah, some important games in there to determine who's final qualification. Our feature game streaming there is Team Genner against Team Brunner, and we have Alan Chalmers and David Hay who are going to talk you through that particular game. And then the afternoon game, which is at 3 p.m, is the final draw for the girls. So
okay.
well, again, there'll be some important games in there to ensure that we've got qualification for qualification. So I'm back on duty with Rachel Sims to cover that one, and we will have the University Games girls team playing against Team China. So a good challenge and a good test for them. And then this evening, I know it's later on a Sunday night and people are maybe thinking about returning back to work tomorrow, but we're at the quarter-final stages, and probably one of the busiest and the best draws we'll probably see, like we have in a lot of these events. So quarter-finals are all at 8 p.m. tonight, and we'll determine who the featured game for that one's going to be, and it'll be Alan Chalmers and Graham Cormack who will talk you through the quarter-final game this evening. So lots of great curling ahead today. Hopefully you can either join us online, or if you're in the area, do pop in and see some of the curling live here at Gere Centre.
Go, nothing. Right.
2.
So we're underway in this sixth end, and exchange of hits, and left the opportunity for Team Huerlimann to throw up the corner guard. So it's gone to the left-hand side as we look at it.
Got room. Where? Curl if you can. Curl. Hard curl. Right over. Keep going. Hard. Keep going.
Trying to curl this and hard to get it to the centre line. Is it going to spin? Oh,
17.5.
look at that right at the end. Just took a little spin right onto that centre line. Well swept there.
Yeah, so.
So a decision of round the middle or around their own corner guard here, and they've gone for going around the own corner, I think. Yeah, and they've gone around their own corner guard instead of round the middle.
Curl. In my curl. Fish curl.
And this one's really taking the curl, and they're getting this moving on the sweep here.
This needs to finish big.
Good.
Oh, it did. I'm going to maybe a half round, maybe.
Top 4.
It's enough that it's being ignored anyway. Tia just deciding to draw top 4.
Line's okay. Got room. Wait only. Where? Carl? Okay. Wait only.
The weight's all there.
Okay.
Sweepers are right off it. Finish just behind the tee.
14-4.
Good line. 14-4 they called there for that draw to just behind the tee line there.
This is probably at the stage of the game, James, where the weight will just start to come down a little bit into this seventh end. We're really deep into this, into the sixth end. So we're deep into this game, and it's important that the timers and the teams are clocking not only their own but probably the opposition, and just making sure they get a little bit of a closer read on some of these paths.
Yeah.
First!
Just past the guard there. Perfect.
Okay, sorry.
The wee inside roll.
We're short.
Tight behind that guard there, right on the button. Really, really nice shot there. Well managed by the sweepers. But yeah, just on the ice conditions we have seen over the last few games, that towards the end the ice did slow up a bit. And I think it's partly to do with all the power sweeping that goes on, and the sweeping for the curl and the sweeping for it straight. There's a huge amount of sweeping in the first sort of 5-6 ends usually, and then as you get to the 7th and 8th end, it's taken a lot of the pebble off the ice, and it just gets that little bit flatter, and the stones run a little bit slower, and it was catching a few people out. So like you say, it's very important to get a time on your stones as you get through the game, and just pick up on the changes as quickly as you can, and hopefully you pick up on them faster than the other team. And don't get caught out, and that can make the difference.
Keep going. Right,
So just trying to come down here and freeze right on this. It's a really good effort. And I think we'll see
14-9.
just short of being frozen on, right at the top of the 4 foot there, but tight behind the guard, making this not an easy decision.
Ja, moet je even doen. Oh. Ja.
But it looks like they are going to try a little hack weight. See if they can get rid of that top red, which is a danger stone for them right now. Should they cut down the scoring zone? They're trying to make their 2. So I think they'll be trying to catch a piece of this red, push it out of the rings out to the right hand side.
Oh. Achtung, ja.
And then ideally, I think they'll probably want to roll to the back quadrant. If they can get underneath their guards, great.
Curl. Curl. Fish. Fish.
Yeah, I think the important piece here is just to at least chip it open, James, you know, so probably just done that and
Just about done that, yep.
held the shooters, so it's a nice result there. So
Yeah.
decision time for Team Laurie.
Ja, goed. Ja.
I think throwing the out-turn draw here into the pocket is pretty, you know, would be a good option.
Come right this way.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the obvious shot, is just try that draw again, right down on top of that yellow, see if they can get it tighter, stop that chip. What they've, I suppose, got to watch is that if they leave it right on top of that yellow, does it allow a double off the red?
Line's okay.
It just got pushed wide there.
Line's good. Hard line. Hard.
Probably almost wants to over curl and be right in the pocket.
Yeah,
So
right underneath.
Keep going.
Get a piece of the red as well
Keep
as the
going. Keep
yellow.
going.
It's looking pretty good
Hard,
coming
hard,
down
hard.
here.
Yeah,
The
line's
sweepers are
good.
working it hard.
Okay.
It's just going to be shy of weight
14-8-7.
again.
So die gaat zeg maar zo.
It's unfortunate,
You alright?
but it's not a bad spot. Gives them some options.
Whoa. Curl. 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 Fish curl. Okay, Tia. Nah. Tia.
Sitting high, but that's okay. I think they were worried at one point they might have run that red onto their own yellow there, but it drew just enough that it got past. But now it might give an
11.
opportunity here for Tia to call that hit and roll in, and if it's really thin they could actually lift that yellow off the button and spin back up towards their own red, and that should put Huerlimann in a really difficult spot.
Yeah, primary objective here for Team Laurie is to try and force one. And, you know, the steal would be a bonus, but
Hard.
just need to try and set this end up. And those hits not great here.
And they're trying to get it to curl.
Okay.
Moved a little bit.
Jetzt würde ich aufs A.
Both teams struggling for curl down that side there at weight.
Throw is
Yeah,
fine.
just probably overthrown
Always fine,
these a
it
little
doesn't
bit.
move.
And you know, nice Switzerland
nine.
team Huerlimann have got
Ist auch ein bisschen tot.
a real good chance here to throw the high hard one and
I think I got it.
probably remove both
think it
these
was
red
maybe 5-4
counters and set 4.
Op de wedstrijd 11 houdt. Om 11 houdt.
Quick look at the overhead, but I think I'm wondering whether if the double would actually push that red towards that yellow in the top left there
Oh,
of the screen.
oh.
Yeah, it's
Girl,
pretty close to
oh,
it, James.
yeah.
So yeah.
Ja!
I don't think we'll get rid of both red counters here, but
Okay.
and actually we were on the wrong view there, but it wrecked on the guard.
Put the guard
Yeah.
back up.
Voorgeflipt, man.
I think.
So, and that guard wasn't really anywhere near the stone that they were trying to hit, I don't think.
Yeah, just
Take
trying
it
to
back
catch
up.
probably catch the
Unless they're trying to
outside
catch the
red
high one.
thin, yeah. And
Okay, sorry.
probably the guard came into play there. So
Teruggespeeld gezet.
anyway, Team Laurie just need to be careful here because
Oh, that!
these two are kind of a little bit exposed.
What do you like
Oh,
here,
the end turn!
Alan?
I mean, probably quite a safe shot is almost to come down and you can either tap it. I think she needs another counter in the house here. You could either come down and tap the back one. You could nose the back one, which would give
only
you a
thing
bit
was to
of
stick the
a
guard back up.
safeguard.
If you had it high on the end, you're just going.
Or just try and make a play on tapping the top red that's directly on the centre line at the top of the 4 foot. Just try and freeze that one to the button.
I like the out turn!
Different options, but I think
Turn.
this double, the way these two stones are sitting at the moment, is just too easy for Team Switzerland. So they want to try and move those around and just make that a little bit more difficult.
Here, lads. No. Yeah.
And do you think is Team Laurie looking to force the one here, or would they prefer to steal, do you think?
Either or. Primary objective is to force one
Yeah.
and set themselves up for either a blank or a multiple score in the 7th end. This looks like a lot of weight.
It's not curling again for them. Oh, that's a disaster.
Yeah, I think they tried the raise there, and maybe that tap freeze option may have just been the safer option there. So
But I think as well, I mean, if they'd gone for a much quieter weight for the tap, even just kind of a back 8 weight and tap back,
Ja, we gaan ze er niet op.
to get shot, it would have given them more options. If it did sit high and roll, it would, hopefully not roll quite as far at that quieter weight.
definitely, yeah.
Oder dat zien we, oder natte van die ook niet. Ja.
Never miss a shot from back here. I think.
That's absolutely perfect.
It's,
Yeah. I think I should sit and watch Super League up here every Wednesday night.
Yeah, I think I should as well.
Ja, nassen is ook oké.
So this could put Team Huerlimann in a really good position here. You get a nice shot on this red and leave 4 counters. And Tia with our last stone. It's going to be difficult to find a spot that doesn't get a multiple score here or give away a multiple score. But she's going to make this shot first, so let's see if Corey can find the line down this hand. They've struggled to get the curl on this in the last couple of shots, and they're sweeping for the curl again. And it does look like it's sitting high again. And there wasn't an awful lot of room passed between those stones as that went past. They'll be happy with that. That's what they wanted to do. I don't think they would have quite liked it quite as close as that, but that's what they wanted to do. So they're in a good position now.
11.
Let's hear what the skips make of this.
Krass, ja, aber ich habe gedacht, ich finde das Eis okay, aber eher Minimum, weißt du, für das man nassen könnte. Dann habe ich gedacht, okay.
Well, decision made. I'm going to try and hit and I think take
Sorry
a
about my
roll.
last one. 11? Yeah.
Looks like a hit and roll across to the left-hand side behind those guards. See if they can sit in the 8 foot and at least outcount the top 2 stones in the house there. Then maybe cut this down to a maximum of a 2.
I just think
It would be a disaster. They just don't want to give away a 4 or a 3. So a really important roll here. They've got to roll a good 4 feet.
Yeah, they've called 11 seconds. I think was the time I heard TSA, and you know, that's probably quite a firm hack weight, not quite barrier weight, but they're coming down here with a little bit of intent. Kind of over curled in this line before, so let's see if they've learnt from that.
Well, it's curling hard now and they're sweeping it straight. Oh, it's curling really big. Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Well, I think that could be game. That is going to be a big score. So Corey Huerlimann looking to, this is what you want as a skip, isn't it? Throwing down to an open house for a 5. That's going to be a big mistake that will be ruled by Team Lauire. Such a shame when just one stone can make all the difference there. For a huge swing, so. Not much to think about for Corey Huerlimann on this one. Just throw it down right to the button on top of our other stone. Sweeper's just making sure, but fairly relaxed. Corey Huerlimann scores a big 5 in the 6th end. And it looks like the hands have gone out. There's a shake, that's it. That's game stone. So an early finish on our feature game, Team Lauire against Team Huerlimann. The big 5 in the 6th end for Team Huerlimann, just being too much to come back from with only 2 ends to go. So
yeah, it was a little bit of in that first half. There was half shots from both sides there, James, and you know, probably hence why the scoreline was as tight as it was at the half-time break. But the Swiss girls just seemed to manage these conditions and some of those paths a little bit better, particularly in that 6th end, and resulted in a game-winning 5 shots. So
yeah, well, it's a lot tighter over on our other feature sheet, which is sheet D. So we could quickly switch to that for those people that have just got up and have maybe thought they'd get some curling in with their toast and coffee or cornflakes, whatever you're having this morning. We've got Team Schwaller against Team Hollandskate. Am I pronouncing that right? Hollandskate. And that is a 3-2 game to Hollandskate with Schwaller with a hammer in the 6th end. We're only on skip stones now. So the first of skip stones. Coming down, we don't have the skips mic'd up obviously on this sheet, so we can't hear what the discussion is. I'm not quite sure my Lithuanian would be up to much anyway.
I couldn't help you there.
No, I'm afraid it probably wouldn't make any difference to us. But yeah, much tighter game with Team Schwaller on this one, 3-2, and only one's been scored all the way through. So every end, one's been taken with the hammer, or a force of one for both teams. So looks to be very evenly matched.
Couple of other updates, James. On sheet B, Team Bjornstad are leading 4-3 against Team Archibald. They're playing the 7th end. Bjornstad 1 up with the hammer. And on sheet F, we have the Team GB Unigames girls against Lucerne. So tight battle there too. And Lucerne just have the slight edge playing the 6th end. They lead 4-3 without the hammer. And on the end sheet here, we have Team China against the young Team Kali Suter team, and China taking a pretty strong control of that game and currently lead that game 8-3.
So yeah, a bit of a mix. Some outright wins early on. Morrison against Thompson 10-0. You know, China over Suter, some big scores there, and the rest of the games are up within a shot of each other. So going into the last two ends, so a big mix of scores out there.
So we're going to conclude the commentary this morning. We'll leave the live stream running if anybody just wants to see a conclusion of this game. And we thank you for joining us. A tight battle between Lauire and Huerlimann there in that first half, and I think experience told in that second half, and a win for Team Huerlimann. So, as I say, some great curling coming up for the rest of the day, but our next session is the men's draw, and that's Genner against Brunner, and that will be at 11:30. So, thanks for joining us. Thanks, James, for your company this morning, and you and I got the graveyard shift this morning, and we look forward to you joining us either in person at Dewars or online. So, thank you and good morning. whole bundle in my bag, actually.